Okay, so welcome to School of Vedic Astrology. I'm Joachim VH, the Rig Veda astrologer. So in today's video, we will cover Purva Bhadrapada, and I will share with you my research and all the secrets surrounding this mystical deity. So the deity, it's called Aja Ikkapada. And Ajay is an ancient fire serpent or dragon, or also the unborn one-footed goat, unicorn, one who goes wherever he likes. Ajay Kapada is also the mount of Rudra, so it is actually one of the 11 Rudras, a fierce form of Shiva. This one-legged dark deity rules over secret societies and slangs and hence associated with all types of black magic. As per Vedas, he is associated with floods, storms, and lightning. So quite severe. And the symbol is the crossed swords, or two front legs of a funeral cot, or a man with two faces. Also a single ray of the sun, and skull and bones. So it's quite there's quite a dark, a shadow side here involved. But in general, also there is this happy side, and we will see it a little bit further. So the Sanskrit root word Purva, first Bhadra, blessed one, auspicious, happy. So these people are kind of happy and joyous. They like Purva Palguni, they're a little bit careless, they do what they like. And then Pada is food. So we have a whole bunch of ancient names. So one of them is Ekapada, of course. And so the meaning, the first of the blessed feet, or the former lucky feet, because these people intend to just, because there is this Artha, economic development, and it's also Manusha, and these people intend to get suddenly very lucky with with all kinds of life situations where they intend to have a lot of wealth in a very short period of time. The former beautiful left foot, or ray of light, beautiful west. So in the astronomy, we locate these two stars in the constellation of Pegasus near Pisces, and these two stars is Markup and Sheet. And so Markup is a star of honors and success, but there is this great sorrow involved. And Sheet also gives literary and poetic abilities with extreme misfortune. So whatever they accumulate, they can lose it again too. This celestial region in Pegasus represents the culmination of Jupiterian energy. The ancients saw these two stars forming the front legs of a funeral cot. And I checked it here on Stellarium, of course. So we got Sheet here, and then Markup just under Pegasus here. So these they saw this square obviously as a funeral cot here, and with the necessary reasons. So the evolution of Ekapada is quite unclear, but many scholars agree that this deity emerged from the Vedic age. The first mentions of Aja Ekapada is found in the Rig Veda and in Hinduism earliest scriptures. Ekapada is closely associated with Ahi Budnya, is the serpent of the deep oceans in Uttara Bhadrapada. And so they appear together, and they are also mentioned in the Rig Veda together. So they form a pair. So this is the next pair, Nakshatra. So according to other interpretations, Aja Ekapada appears to be an aerial deity, since he is invoked as the supporter of the sky and the thundering flood. In Yakshas Naigatuka, Aja Ekapada is mentioned with the deities of the celestial realms. The Atharva Veda describes this deity as made of two worlds, and you see also the man with two faces. The Taittiriya Brahmana describes him as rising from the east. The commentator of this text interprets Aja Ekapada as a form of the fire god Agni, as does the modern scholars. So there's a whole line, but yeah, many believe that this is then in the later Puranas one of the forms of Rudra. And so, yeah. So the zodiac range here is 20 degrees of Aquarius to 3 degrees of Pisces. And so the padas are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer. So here, the first 3 padas, you have like this Jupiter Saturnian energy. And then the last pada, if you have, Jupiter is kind of exalted there, which is nice because it has this kind of Jupiterian energy, because there's a whole spiritual side to this. So the motivation is Artha, Ayurvedic dosha is Vata. You see, these people have a very swift mind. And the Gana Manusha, and the quality is fierce. So they can suddenly, it's like Kritika. They can just suddenly have a very cynical and weird speech, actually, and very severe speech. However, the caste is Brahmin and the guna is Sattva, so it kind of reminds me of Durvasha Muni, kind of sage, kind of you don't have to. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is this famous sage, is Durvasha Muni, but you don't need to do a lot to like offend him, and then he will curse you to become a goat in your next life or something. So this is kind of the feeling I have with this nakshatra. It has this very, it's okay, it's Brahmin, Sattva, the spirituality, but you don't need a lot to offend these people, and whoa, mayhem, the lightning will strike you. Okay, however, the Shakti is the power to raise the evolutionary level, or power of spiritual fire to awaken the spirituality in a person. Obviously dealing with funeral card, dealing with death, dealing with reincarnation, etc. And the Yoni is a male lion, so quite ferocious. If you have like an Ugra male lion coming at you who knows like voodoo from the Vedas, then you might just be in trouble. But okay, this we have to look at which house placement and which planets occupy this nakshatra, obviously. So this is a transformational nakshatra where the native may sacrifice themselves for a higher cause to make a difference in the world. And you also see this thing in India, you see a lot of people try to achieve moksha by cutting and harming the body, like putting a sword in the throat, and all these things are seen with Purva Bhadrapada. This nakshatra grants a universal view through internal purification. This raises up our spiritual aspirations in life. But the way this moksha is attained, it has weird forms of practices and takes us out of the domain of selfish behavior. Aja Ekapada is one of the 11 Rudras and is the cosmic or celestial form of Agni, or the sacred fire. So the sacred fire is the burning purification. This nakshatra is also connected with emergency rooms in hospitals and sitting and caring for dying people. So there is care involved. There is care involved for sure. Purva Bhadrapada native is devoted to God, meets with unexpected success, may get wealth unexpectedly in old age. They intend to be fearful, nervous, and angry. So this Vata energy. They may be very cynical. Their lives are sometimes filled with sadness and problems because of the yeah, this lightning swiftness. If you look at the story of Durvasha Muni, yeah, okay, he did not know that the person that he offended was a pure devotee of Vishnu or Krishna. And yeah, he was haunted by the Sudarshan disc. And he went through all the three planetary systems, and he went to beg for mercy to different demigods. But in the end, he had to, go back to the devotee and just apologize. So, even Vishnu could not help Durvasha Muni, and there you see then also the power of pure devotees, because they are so dear to Krishna that even Vishnu, he will not help you after you severely offended a devotee. So they must be careful of accidents and injuries, especially if you have Mars like in the 8th house in this nakshatra. These people are radicals and non-conformists who have excellent speaking abilities to sway the masses regardless of the consequences. So they intend to be this carefree nature. They don't care about consequences, and they end up in all types of unwanted situations. Especially when they get angry, when you offend them, they become impulsive, anxious, and they may be cynical and communicate with harsh and critical speech. Natives become too fearful. Yeah, you see that these people have lots of nervous issues, they have mental issues, they have two-faced issues. So yeah, I have seen this. If Purva Bhadrapada is afflicted, there are mental problems with the natives. So I have to watch out, especially also watch out when you confront them, because you have to confront them with ease, with respect, so you don't ignite their impulsiveness. And so the natives have unstable minds and may be stingy and miserly. Yeah, if they have a weak Saturn there, it's gonna cold and in relationship with the moon or Ketu, this can be quite severe. Yeah. Anyway, the dissolution energy of Ruda falls in this asterism. As a result, the natives may be much more cruel and merciless compared to its counterpart of Ardra Nakshatra. So Ardra, it is the teardrop star group, but still Ardra has also this very spiritual side. These people are outcast. In many occasions very outcast. They do not participate with the normal norms of society. They live a life on their own. Some say that these natives, they didn't want to take birth in human society. They wanted to, actually they prefer to have animal life in jungles, etc. So but they were kind of forced to take birth as humans. So there is this pain, this suffering, injuries, and fall and accidents may occur under this asterism. So Purva Bhadrapada is more severe than Ardra. So if you put a Rahu in this nakshatra, my God, in relationship with the moon, these people will eat you like a cannibal. So there is also this concept then of having multiple personalities. So it's symbolized by a two-faced person. They often can see issues from different points of view, both based on past facts and futuristic vision, but they are usually perceived as two-faced by others. And it is observed that most homicides, mass murder, and genocides have some association with this nakshatra. Note that it is also symbolized by the skull and bones with the secret society. Yeah, so also this Kritika energy is there, very harsh, very sharp, and Kritika is also related to world wars and genocide. So yeah, Rahu was transiting Kritika. It's not good if Rahu transits Purva Bhadrapada in relationship with the moon. It's not good. You will have to have some remedies or get lucky in the Navamsa chart. But anyway, if you have like a benefic moon here, let me do this first. So these people can be joyous, generous, independent. They have the power to influence people, but mold their opinions. So you have Anuradha, you have Uttara Palguni. They're very diplomatic when they're dealing with others and others' opinions. Kritika is more sharp. Ashlesha, yeah. Ashlesha is also so ferocious. They just mold your opinion. You are mostly positive, have a clear point of view. You can get offended easily, and if someone pushes you, it turns to anger. You like to be there, the center of attention, and sometimes don't care about other people's views, which could lead you to become very detached about what society and people think of you. So you have also this kind of outcast nature when, yeah, you see people have mental problems and they try to do to convince you of all kinds of things, and people are looking at you like, well, what are you trying to say here? And eventually they feel pushed away and they go like in these secluded forms of isolation where they do all types of whatever creepy practices, voodoo rituals, or even dream catching rituals, like positive. It is not always have to be black magic, but they kind of go into this seclusion. Like these are shleshas, they and then they want to shed their skin, and then suddenly they appear again, very joyous, ready to mold all your opinion and share their own opinions. So they're quite fearless in these things, and they like things done in their own way and stand out of the crowd. So yeah, they're quite noticeable. And there is also the tendency to go towards extremes, and there is a need for stronger foundation in life. Yeah. So what I found really interesting, I don't share the career interest too much, but in this case, it's quite obvious if you have the prominent planets there. So there's morticians in all professions relating to death or the death process, like coffin makers, cemetery keepers, surgeons, and contemporary medical practitioners. Basically, those who administer poisons as remedies, fundamentalists, radicals, fanatics, horror, mystery, and sci fi writers, the dark side of the entertainment industry, weapon makers, occultists, dealings with the dark side, black magicians, perpetrators of dark technologies, leather industry, extreme aesthetics involved in self mortification, like the famous agoras, police departments, particularly homicide squads, soldiers, metal industry, all professions involving the use of fire and high temperatures, those who deal with toxic substances and highly polluting waste products, enemies of the environment like lumberjacks, environmental activists, pharmaceutical cartels and industry, astrologers, priests, aesthetics, research, skills, statisticians, occultists, black magicians, administrative planners, and business skills. So, yeah, according to the planet and house placements and the lordships involved, this has this kind of spectrum. And when you are suffering from these energies, then we have mantras for you. And the Gayatri mantra is Om Shiva Namasi Swadiste Pita Namaste Astu Mamahimsi Nivartayam Yayushe Natyaya Prayanaya Raja Poshaya Suprayastvaya Suviryaya. And the Vedic mantra Om Utnahir Vudanaya Shrino Twach Eka Prithave Samudra Vishvideva Rita Vrido Huvana Shtuta Mantra Kavishtashta Avantu Om Ajakpade Namaha. Wow! Interesting. So when moon transits every month, this nakshatra, you can chant these mantras. Or when prominent planets transit this nakshatra, you can chant this mantra. There is also, you can worship Shiva, obviously. And Ganesh is then the son of Shiva. You can worship Rudra. Also, there's many different ways to ask for blessings to the deities related to this nakshatra. So we got the 30th of Lord Ganesh, 32 forms, is Yoga Ganapati. And Ganesh is depicted in yogic stance with his both legs tied up in a rope. The Lord appears in absorbed meditation posture with 4 hands. His complexion is radiant like morning sun and adorned with blue color attire. His main right hand holds japa beads, mala, rudraksha, and his main left hand holds the yoga staff. On his other hands holds sugar cane and a noose. So don't get me wrong. But these people are quite spiritual too, especially if you have benefics there, or Jupiter in the 4th pada. They can be quite sensitive, but also very little bit outcast yogis that you would see in strange places with all this, you see, dust of the dead people and skull and bones, but quite spiritual, but like Ardra Nakshatra, quite outcast kind of energy. So there's also some verses in the Rig Veda, chapter 2:31:6, and we desire gods to repeat the praise of you who are propitiated by praise. May Ahir Bhutnya Aja Ekapa Trita Ribuksin Savita bestow upon us food, and may the swift-moving grandson of the waters, Agni, be gratified by our praises and our worship. And there's another verse also where Aja Ekapat is referred to in chapter 6:50-14. And also in relationship again with Ahir Bhutnya, Aja Ekapat, and earth and ocean, hear us. May the universal gods who are exalted by sacrifice, they who are invoked and praised by us, to whom mystical prayers are addressed and who have been glorified by ancient sages, preserve us. So in this nakshatra, it's kind of asking for preserving our capabilities, our spiritual force, our mental clarity. So it's asking for preservation of these things and protection, obviously. So this was kind of it. I'm very pleased actually with the amount of people who have joined the WhatsApp group, and now it's becoming a whole discussion throughout the day, already sharing charts, sharing knowledge, asking questions, having answers from different kind of people. So it's really nice that School of Vedic Astrology is building like this. And with this WhatsApp group, I actually feel like, because I'm not so much teaching in classrooms now, because I have left France and I'm in Belgium now, But now through this WhatsApp group, I feel like there are a few prominent personalities there sharing a whole bunch of knowledge, and we actually feel like now it's still a proper school of Vedic astrology. So I wish everybody a very happy new moon cycle in Anuradha. It's worth checking the Tara from your natal moon's position to see if you kind of lucky or not. And then the next thing will be full moon. I will do a video on full moon because eventually all the nakshatras will be uploaded on the channel and the research will have been shared. And I think the next thing is then, yes, Sun moves in Sagittarius after Jesta, and I think I will do a video on that next month, with Mercury and Venus then also in Sagittarius in Purvashada, Uttarashada, and Sun then in Mula Nakshatra. So there's a whole bunch of things to come. Also, still have the Instagram account. And for consultations, my email is also in the description box. And I will see you in the next video.